to receive the cup. There's nothing to beat a win at Wembley.
Black who's going to go for it. Black for the 1 point to win the grand final. For Halifax, and he's done it. Ben Black strike.
Hello! Welcome to another live stream of Talking the Facts of Live. Proud to sponsor by Eclipse Energy.
Eclipse Energy!
And Delivery! As always, there's us two. My name's Mike Haig, and with me is producer, compadre, and fan, Mr. Rick Farrell. How you doing, Rick?
Groovy, baby.
Groovy. And we are in the groove, both us as a podcast and us as a team. How many wins? 4 wins out of 5 from the 5th game of summer. We are back in the groove, and we are loving it. From the annual Enya fixture at Swinton, sail away. It's been a mixed hunting ground for us, but we've got the win. As always, get your comments in, get your opinions. We want to know what you think. It's not just about us, because we always say if it was, we'd sit in the garden, lovely sunny garden, and just chew the fat about it. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. So, have we got any comments yet? Before we actually chat some rubbish, have we actually got any comments through it yet? Hopefully. No, not yet. Okay. No, not yet. Oh, we can't see the comments. No, comment. Lovely. Right. This is a weird one. We've actually started a podcast on time without any technical hitches, not thinking that we're live kind of thing. It's actually running smoothly. So, while we wait for comments to come in, let's have a kind of brief overview of the last 2 matches, because we couldn't do a stream last week because of these technical issues, but we're back on form now. We're making up for lost time, so it's all good. Good win against York. Very, very good win against York. Much fancied York. It was a good statement, and we discovered a new halfback in a new youngster, a new young halfback called Scott Grix. Who'd have thunk it?
With the nickname Grandad.
Yeah, nickname Grandad, but with age comes experience, and it's like I've been saying for a long time. If your legs go at full back, you just get found out. But like we saw with Graham Allroyd, you don't have to be a 100-metre sprinter to boss the game at half-back. And my God, Scott Grix has been fantastic there. He's just been so influential, and he's very close. He's going up towards being the player of the season so far. What do you reckon?
I'm not sure about being player of the season, because obviously he missed a massive chunk of it with his injury that he got from possibly being shown up that his body isn't built to be a fullback anymore. But I mean, put him at halfback, and I'm sure Cav's happy to be playing outside of him. What's that, 3 games for him? So yeah, there's no substitute for experience in rugby league, especially at the halfback position. And we all know how good he is with ball in hand. His kicking game's been outstanding as well. We talked about the York game, that great 40-20 that got us rolling, and then I love the little soft hands that he has at the line. He's involved in everything. He's been outstanding, hasn't he? So I'll give you. He's the form player. I'm not going. He needs to show a bit more to be player of the year, but I'll say he's definitely in form.
He's certainly having an impact in the victories that we've had recently, and he's bringing other players into it. He mentioned Ben Kavanagh. He's another player that's been reborn. Really, he's since he's joined, he has kind of flat to deceive in terms of his previous form. But my God, he's certainly making up for lost time, and he's left-sided second row could be his position there, really, and he looks really at home, and he's scoring tries for fun as well. Again, who would have thunk it?
Showing some great pace as well, which I didn't know he had. I haven't seen for a long time. Good footwork for the big lad. So yeah, it's great to see one of his own get over off the back of a pass from one of his own. So Facts lads doing it for the facts.
Team full of facts lads for sure, definitely. Right, we are getting some comments in. So, James Marsden, hey guys. Hey you guys. Yes, hello James. He's sharing the love as well. We'll love that. Aaron Bottomley, cheers for joining us. Evening guys, another good week. Another good few weeks to be fair. Come on, let's spread this love around. We've had a good few weeks there. Adam Patchett, sure, I just seen you passing around Ron Lees. Have you got a stalker here?
It's down the road when you're driving, but you're giving away, Adam. You're giving away the location of the secret bunker here.
Yeah. Do you live in internet land as well? He's also said Grix has just started playing after 2 years. Don't get too excited. it's hard not to get too excited. Really, he's showing his class that we all knew that he had.
He's had flashes, hasn't he? I mean, there were a game 2019 when we went to Barrow. I think we've talked about it before, where he was the man of the match, and he was probably a foot quicker in the head than everyone else around him. And we've put players around him now where he can thrive. So yeah, even if it has been 2 years, at least he started playing now.
Definitely, and
better late than never.
Of course, yeah, and. Again, he's come under some, in my opinion, some undue flack because of who he is. Coach's brother, he's the oldest member of the squad and that sort of thing. But he's proven the doubters wrong, and he's certainly been one of our best players for the last few weeks, and long may that continue. Although it does open up a conundrum, which Stephen Robertshaw has brought in there. What happens when Robbo's back? Well, that's the $1 million question, isn't it, Rick?
Do you change a winning team? I mean, it's always hard to do it, but we've seen Fax coaches do it in the past. And we've got a bit of time before that becomes an issue, haven't we, really? But I don't know, is there a way you can work them all in?
Could do.
The question is, where does he play if you do put those two together? Because I think we've established that you cannot take James Wilburn all out of that team.
No,
that man has been outstanding.
Yeah.
And as you posted on the page, he's been rewarded with a call up to the train-on squad for the World Cup for Jamaica. So, yeah, I think if you see the last comment that's come in, James says, you drop Harris. I think Harris has been great. The last couple of weeks, he's really stepped up. I mean, in the stand at Swinton Sale on Sunday, all the talk from all the people around me, the chairman and the media guys from Swinton was, who's that guy? Because that guy can play.
Yeah.
And that was Liam Harris. So, I'm not too sure.
Since Griggs has come in, Harris seems to be a lot freer. He seems to be roaming a lot. And what was really striking against York was that I think Robinson and Harris try to play a similar game, and they sometimes do tend to get in each other's way. Whereas Griggs literally had the left hand side locked up. Harris had the right locked up, but he had freedom to roam. He had freedom to run, which is what Liam Harris does best. He's a running halfback. He's got a decent kicking game when he can, but it's an embarrassment of riches, and in that one you want from a squad. Absolutely. Really.
And he's obviously, he's a new signing that he's probably took a few weeks to settle into the side. But the thing that you see from him is what he's doing in midfield. It's not a case of the other halfback taking the pressure off him. He's creating the space with his movements in midfield that's then creating the space out wide for Griggs to put Cav and whoever through these holes. So he's been outstanding for me. I don't think you can drop him, to be honest with you. Like I say, it's an embarrassment of riches. It's a nice problem to have, isn't it? But
it's an unforeseen headache, because who'd have thought Woodburn Hall would go to fullback and keep Scott Griggs out the team? Yeah. Everyone thought that as soon as Scott Griggs is fit, he'd go straight back into fullback, put Woodburn Hall back to centre, and it's kind of the whole thing. Give Simon Griggs his dues. He's picking players in form, in the positions that they're playing, and he's not prepared to make bold decisions and playing people out of position, because Scott Griggs definitely weren't signed as an halfback. He's played bits of it throughout his career with Wakefield and Huddersfield and that, but the way that he's taken to it is, as you say, it's just that little touches of class which makes players play around him, and in that the sign of a great halfback that makes other players look good around you. Jonathan Thurston did it for years, and look how good he was. Not comparing Jonathan Thurston to Simon Griggs, obviously, but Griggs. James Marsden throwing a curve ball. Griggs at 13. Well, could be an option.
You wanted more there other week, mate. Make your mind up, Jimmy.
Yeah, exactly. I think Jacob Fairbank or Adam Tangata might have something to say about that, but it's an option. It's whether there might be some games where it calls for it, where you need a ball handling loose forward and that sort of thing.
Big enough to do it though, because obviously one thing you need from your loose forward is a lot of defensive midfield when the other team's coming out of yardage, and I don't think without important an attack is that you want him doing a lot of defending.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. He's not necessarily a spring chicken, and you don't necessarily want him in the coal face doing that. He's good enough keeping out wide and putting his energies into that halfback role there. There's loads of comments coming through.
I just want to say here as well, like you were saying, who'd have thought he'd have come in and played fullback? You might get some people saying like, oh, well, you can bang him in at centre. Do you think Scott Griggs would be wasted as a centre?
Yeah, definitely. you want Scott Griggs to have his hands on the ball because whatever he does is class, and he either, as you saw on Sunday at Swinton, he can either dummy through and score himself, or he can lay tries on a plate for Ben Cav. So you want him on hands on the ball in the right areas. You don't want him doing loads of tackling at the cold face where big boys forwards should be. You want him in those clutch moments, because more often than not in the last few weeks he's done the business for us, really. So yeah, I'm more than happy to see him at halfback. Again, I wouldn't know what to do when Robinson gets fit, because it's an embarrassment of riches that we've got. And do you carry on with a winning formula, or do you go game to game, really? Because one thing Robinson has over both of them is an amazing kicking game, both place kicking and out of boot. But he's also a good running game as well as Robinson. He's got it all, and it's such a difficult decision. If I had a bullet to me head, a gun to my head now, I wouldn't drop Griggs at all. It would be between Robinson and Harris, and I wouldn't know. If hand on heart, I'd pick Robinson just because he gives a bit more kicking game. Yeah. But I won't complain either way. Either way, I won't complain.
It's one of those as well. There might be an argument for like horses for courses, like you said. There might be a game where we need to play a different type of halfback and move people around. But we'll come to that when we get to it. You know, like I said before, you don't change a winning team for me, because they need to build these understandings amongst each other and confidence, which, as you know, in any team sport is massive. So
definitely. Other comments, what have we got? Adam Patchett's got a couple. He thinks Harris is an excellent kicker. He is, not necessarily long distance, but certainly close to the line. But I think his main strength is his running game for sure. Adam also says we have so much speed on the follow-up play and play the ball with Amir and Woodburn all. Gives us a dynamic we haven't had for in a while. Yeah, definitely. I thought Amir Burrow was my man of the match on Sunday. Obviously, Griggs gets a lot of the plaudits, and I think Liam Harris got a player to watch on one of the Rugby Daily things or whatever it was. But yeah, I thought Amir Burrow and Elliot Morris, who we'll come to in just a second, when they came off the bench, completely changed the game. And he's just class as Amir Burrow. Like how I'm so surprised Wigan even thought about recalling him, because he's far too good for this league.
well, the talk is, the talk is that he's out of contract with Wigan at the end of the season, and there is a chance that we might be able to keep hold of him permanently. So, I think he's shown enough in that short amount of time we've had him to say that he'd be worth putting a bit of investment into.
Definitely. You know? So this is the start of the Amir Burrow squad builder. The talking the facts of life. Keep Amir Burrow in Halifax. Fundraising. So you heard it here first, and if you are watching Amir, please stay. If we don't, who wants to go back to Wigan? They talk funny over there and eat too many pies. But yeah, absolute class act, and Woodburn all as well. Again, massive congratulations for him to be part of the Jamaica squad for World Cup. How good would it be to see an actual current Halifax player playing the World Cup? Absolutely brilliant. And
it's happened before.
It's not in World Cup. Oh, he did. He played at World Cup. Of course, he did.
He got sparked out with first tackle.
He won't be the first and won't be the last to get sparked out by a PNG player. But yeah, he's just he's just looking better and better, more comfortable in every game. Every time he got the ball on Sunday, he just looked to break. He just looked dangerous, and he's just effortless. He's just smooth as silk. He's definitely undroppable. You just do not drop Woodburn all, because he comes up with those moments there. And Peter Wood has joined as well, and he's said about Elliot Morris. That's exactly why I said we'll come to it, because I can see it there. Elliot Morris, he's a shout out, makes yards, has a half load, has set up a few line breaks. Yep, whoever we're watching on our league live and also on the highlights, we've heard a friend of the show, Matt Shaw, who definitely isn't a Fax fan, obviously. He said that Elliot Morris is one of the most underrated players in the league, and I completely agree. I think he's gone under the radar for so long, and he just does. He does the simple things brilliantly, but he also comes up with a bit of class as well. And Amir Burrow's try was literally made by him breaking through, quick play the ball, and that's where he thrives. And it works. He works his blood to water. He's just class, absolute class. I know you're a big fan of him as well.
Massively. I thought he had his best game of the year in the last couple of years, and that's saying something against York last week. He was just dominating there forward. The thing about Elliot is he came in as sort of like he'd been rejected from Huddersfield came to the reserves, proved himself, and he just gets a little bit better. Not every year on year, but every game he's taking on board the coaching he's got from Marshy and then obviously from Simon, and gets a little bit better. You never see him get. Have you ever seen him been put on his backside?
Not at
ever.
all, no.
He's always keeping his feet. He gets these quick play of the balls. He's got, like you say, an offload game. He's not slow, as we saw when he were backing up Scott Griggs.
Exactly.
Summer Bash to get that famous try that he got, and he's probably my favourite player in the squad because he's so quiet and unassuming, but he's just an absolute animal on the field, and that's what you want.
Yeah, definitely. And he never gets dominated. He always wins his tackle. He never misses a tackle. He always makes yards, finds his elbows and knees quick. But he's just a class player, and I'm very happy for him to continue being under the radar because it means that he's just going to stay at Halifax and that sort of thing.
Well,
but
I've
yeah,
just written here, I can't believe that we've kept hold of him for as long as we have because that's a Super League standard player.
Oh, definitely. He reminds me a lot of prime Sam Barlow in terms of what he does. Play probably slightly different positions maybe, but in terms of what he does, he's a Super League player in waiting in that respect. And whether you guys think that comparing Sam Barlow is a compliment or not, I will leave in your heads. But yeah, he just the way that he moves, his body shape, the way he moves before the line, I just think he's prime 2010 Sam Barlow, and he's just class, and he was class in that respect there.
I mean, his offload game as well. When we signed Springer, we were all saying, "Oh, that'll be the guy that's going to get these offloads away," and he has to a degree. But Elliott has the amount, like Peter said, the amount of line breaks that he's created by getting his arm through the tackle and round the back of the man with 3 men on his back as well. It's frightening.
Yeah,
and if he keeps on that upward trajectory that he's on, we're going to have a really, really top class forward.
Exactly. Let's mention Springer while you said that. How good's he been the last few weeks as well? Slow start to the season, kind of, and like I've kind of touched upon this on previous podcasts. The role of a prop forward can be slightly different. You have ones where they're explosive, bust a line, and other stuff. Or you can have other ones where they just workhorses and might come with an offload. Springer might have had different roles in different teams. Yeah. The last few weeks is just been brilliant because he did get a lot of stick because and he did get dropped as well, didn't he? And he'd been in and out of the team, but arguably he's probably our form prop forward along with Morris at the moment because every time he looks to get the ball, as I mentioned before, if Sean Penkovic was still playing with us, and I implore Brandon Moore and Amir Burrow, every time Springer gets the ball, follow him, get on his shoulder because he can offload from whether it's before the line or through the line and offload it from there. He's got big reps from me the last few weeks for Springer.
You mentioned as well that he had a slow start. Maybe it's a bit of transition time from him going from being a full-time pro for a long time to being part of a part-time squad. It's a bit of a change in how you train, when you train. So maybe it took a bit of time to get used to, but we're definitely starting to see him picking up to that form that we all know that he's capable of, and long may it continue. Really.
Definitely, yeah. We'll look to be. You mentioned right at the start, it's groovy. We're all in the groove. We are just hitting that nice peak there, so it's great. Nathan Farrer agrees with us about Morris. He reckons he's been the best prop consistently for 3 years. Yeah, 100%. Can't disagree with you there. And they say we've got an embarrassment riches with props because we've got Tangata as well, Springer, Dan Murray. Dan Murray does. He's kind of a prop from the other end of the spectrum in terms of he's not going to bust through loads of tackles and be like eye-catching displays. But what Dan Murray does, he works his blood to water. He always finds his feet, kind of like what Elliot Morris does there. He's very effective at what he does, is Dan Murray.
He loves being here as well. You can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see, as we're going to come on to, I've got a question for the fans that I want your answer to. But when McGrath jumped in the corner, you saw him on the footage jumping up. He's really enjoying his rugby, being back at Fax. He wants to be here. Some of the lads that we've signed in the last couple of years have sort of seen it as a stepping stone. He wants to move up a level with the club, so that's always.
And Liam Harris, I've noticed as well, does that. You can see Liam Harris when we make good defensive plays or score tries. Yeah. He's a ringleader in those celebrations. He's loving it there.
Absolutely, and we were worried that we wouldn't be able to, because obviously the blueprint of that came from the future Hall of Famer Scott Piggy Morrell, but, and we thought we'd never be able to replicate that. But it seems that it's become a part of the DNA of being a Fax halfback slash.
A fax number 6.
That's it, yeah. So it's
Definitely.
outstanding.
Speaking of McGrath, he took his chance very well on Sunday, and
Both of them.
yeah, they did very, very well. But in terms of the winger, Steve Robershaw has come back saying he couldn't understand why Grix dropped Saltonstall. Said a poor game against York. You don't think so? Well,
I disagree with that one.
I do. Do you think it could be that it was he's a victim of his own success, Salty, because we know how good he is, and maybe he did have a not necessarily great game against York, but kind of a standard okay game.
Yeah.
That because of that, it's deemed as a poor game, and we expect more. Do you think?
Yeah, maybe.
Do you think Grixie's been a bit of a tough taskmaster, and maybe kind of what I believe might happen with some players? We'll get to it soon. Dropping Saltonstall to kind of say, look, this is what you need to produce if you're not going to be in a team. And Conor McGrath took it with both hands.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, the thing about Salty is everyone knows the strength of his game is bringing the ball out of yard, he's taking the pressure off the forwards. But I think in the York game, he threw a few passes on when we were coming out of our own 20 that really put us under pressure. And if I mean, we'll come on to later, our goal line defence wasn't as strong as it has been.
No.
We might have conceded on the back of silly errors that didn't need to be, unforced errors. So, yeah, I kind of understand it. But, like you said, Foxy, as Grixie calls him, he said he'd been training really well in the background. And if you've been training well and someone in front of you has a bad game, it's the next man up mentality.
Exactly.
So, I've got a question here to get some more comments in and get this thing rolling. So, after Sunday, who plays this Sunday? Conor McGrath or James Saltonstall?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
Get your answers in the comments.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Again, I've said many times you can't change a winning team. I think Foxy has to go again for me.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. I was going to say something there. He gone completely. Yeah. What we've always said in this podcast, we don't know what happens in training. We don't know what happens behind closed doors, behind fences and training sessions and stuff. But also, you've got to go what happens on the field. And again, we all know Saltonstall on his day is one of the best wingers in the league. And and his performance against York wasn't that. I didn't think it was a poor game whatsoever. But again, he might just be a victim of his own success. That it's not spectacular. My thing is the guy inside him, Greg Worthington. Now, we've all seen. We've had two examples there of two players who have been dropped from the side. Rick needs to sort out some house admin. We've had two examples of players being dropped from the side and come back into the team and being absolute brilliant in Kevin Leroy and Gadwin Springer. Now, Worthington, you'd have thought, playing bottom of the league Swinton, that is prime time for Worthington to show what he's all about. And brutally honest, he didn't show that. He's playing okay. The other centre, Zach McComb, he's come in and done really well, in my opinion. If there is one guy to be dropped from that back line, it's Greg Worthington. Now, we all know he's not a bad player whatsoever. He's not. We all know he's an absolute class player, but he's not showing it at the moment. And if you're saying you've got to play the players in form, then Greg Worthington in form, maybe having a watching brief for a week or so, coming back in, because it seems to me, and like I've people look into it, that it's starting to bother him. You can actually see it from his body language that it's not coming off for him. Like I think you were telling when against York when
he had 5 men on his back.
No, when Grixie kicked through and it bounced wrong and Rawstorm jumped on it and he knew that that was my try kind of thing really. And again, it might just do him good. Who do you put at centre? Well, do you put Saltonstall at centre? How long is Ed Barber going to be out? We don't know. But as I say, it's very, very difficult. And again, like we said before, we've got an embarrassment of riches at the moment. We've got a decent squad full of class, and it's very, very tricky at the moment.
So answer the question then, Mike. McGrath or Saltonstall?
I love James Saltonstall. I'm sorry, I love James Saltonstall. I think if you put James Saltonstall back in the side this week, he will have a stormer.
Yeah, that added impetus of, like you say, not necessarily a watching brief, but a case of, oh God, there is the potential for me to lose my place. I need to be switched on here. And it's that added bit of, motivation, so to speak. But it looks like everyone agrees with you. We've got Adam says Salty, James says Salty plays this Sunday, Riggers, James Saltonstall. Gav Parkinson, I Gav. Up the slope battle, I'd go with Saltonstall to win the ruck. Spot on. I get that absolutely.
Yeah, again, Batley. He said horses for courses before. Batley is a unique proposition in many facets in terms of the playing thing. Is Gilmore and Ben White will offer a completely different sort of threat than Ridyard and the other halfback did on Sunday. Yeah. They offered practically nothing really. We all know Salty as his brain farts, he throws wild passes and that, but that's what you get from him. I think his positives make up for that. And McGrath, I really do like McGrath as a player, but if you between the two, I'd still pick Salty. The other guy we've not mentioned in that respect, Nick Rawsthorne. Nick Rawsthorne has been brilliant the last few weeks, and again, like Bernal, every single time he got the ball, he looked dangerous. He looked to break. He's finishing tries really well, and yeah, he's nailed down that wing spot because for a few weeks, plenty of people, myself included, going, hang on, what have we bought here? Well, we need to change things around, but he's actually done really well.
Totally agree.
We have had mentions for Matt Garside. Sean Fax Rothery has mentioned him, but also I think there was a comment further up as well.
He says no mentions for Matt Garside. I've got it written here.
Yeah,
Be patient, man.
and there were
There's a plan to this. We don't just make it up.
but yeah, he's really coming into his own now, and he's actually starting to be noticed. I've noticed Matt Garside because I love, as everyone knows, I love my second rows. Superstar Dave Larder. Sonny Bill Williams, yeah, Andy Farrell, all those sort of people. But Matt Garside was the one where he didn't necessarily get noticed because he's not the flash. Well, he's more of a Dan Murray kind of player in that respect. He's not spectacular and that sort of thing. Last couple of games, he's woke up.
I thought Swinton was his best game in a fact shirt, to be honest with you. I really did. I think someone's put here, let me find the comment about him, comparing him to Gary Mercer.
Yeah.
Adams said, Garside is like a Gary Mercer, can bounce off tackles, gain yards, and get that pass out. We probably haven't seen it up to the last couple of weeks. But the thing what Gars does is he does all the dirty work in defence.
Exactly,
He's rock solid in defence.
Yeah.
And he's a calming influence on, because we've got quite a young squad across the board. He's a calming influence on the other lads. So, yeah, I'm glad that people are spotting. Matt had a really good game. I think he were probably pushing for man of the match at one point before. Obviously, Grixie were just involved in everything, weren't they? So,
yeah.
But yeah, absolutely right to praise Matt Garside. Totally agree.
So it looks like the comments, the Talk of the Facts of Life viewers want James Holtstall to come back this weekend, which is it's the opinion. I'm sure people will disagree. I agree, but as I say, it's a good problem to have there, really. Adam Patchy and do the Birmingham just attend away games now. About time an apology was made. Let's draw a line under that. It was a great atmosphere, fantastic atmosphere.
Absolutely.
What's happened. We're back supporting the Facts. Amazing atmosphere, and again that'll continue at Batley there.
We're banned. I mean, the drum can't go if he's banned.
No, it can't. But I know that a lot of other folk boycotted because of that. But again, what's done's done. If the apology's going, that's it. We're focusing on.
For what it's worth, I agree with Adam. It is about time that an apology was issued.
It is.
We said before on the first stream after it happened, didn't we? That if the longer they leave it, the more it's going to fester and become these, conversations in smoky rooms and all that sort of stuff. Even though you can't smoke indoors anymore. But, fascists. But anyway,
Before this becomes have I got news for you? This is Talking the Facts of Life. Exactly. Stephen Robert Shaw also says Grix takes facts around the field at the Mount Pleasant. Old head with a great rugby brain like Muzzer. Yeah, very much comparisons with Morel there. Both vastly experienced, both not necessarily fleet of foot, but we don't necessarily need it at halfback. We saw one grand final with Graham Allroyd at standoff, who barely moved really. So it's one of those.
let's do that one.
Here we go. So
Back to the Salty versus McGrath.
yeah, and the consensus does seem to be that because we're playing Batley, Salt is the one to go, because one of Salty's strengths, which people think is the only thing he can do, is make yardage out of bad areas and that.
Yeah.
I think his finishing is brilliant. I think it's criminal underrated. He can finish, can James Saltonstall. He's so good at minute yards and winning penalties that it's overlooked. McGrath is a natural finisher. We saw that both tries he scored there. Especially the first one was spectacular, but I love the second one. Proper good fashioned wing play, just in and out and in the corner. I absolutely love that.
To be fair, Salty's got that in his locker as well, hasn't he? But
he has, yeah.
My argument about McGrath was as well, if you look at recent times when we've tried to engage Batley in Batley-style tactics, just going blood and thunder up the middle, we end up either narrowly losing or getting smoked on their field because they sign a team to play that, they train on it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Where we've had success, and I think the club actually shared the highlights from 3 years ago when we played in the shirt with a thing down, the sleeve, whatever it was, 2018, I think.
Yeah.
Was we had our success with Chester Butler and I think Heaton was the winger that
Yes,
day.
it was.
With speed on the outside.
Yep.
Get the
Speed
ball
and
wide
strength,
quick
yeah.
and have the speed to get round the edge of them. And that's what I think that McGrath offers you over Saltonstall is just pure raw pace. And I don't think maybe Nick Rawstorn obviously offers you that.
Yeah,
as
he does,
well,
yeah.
a bit more than Salty, but it's one of those. It's what kind of game.
Salt is hardly slow though. Come on, he's not slow. He's just not got that like.
Who's winning in a foot race?
I mean, McGrath,
You know.
but I don't think Salty finishes that far behind. But it's again, we're embarrassed for riches here.
Yeah.
It's good, but yeah, I agree. Yeah. For once, the talk of the facts of life people agree with me for team selection. But we'll get onto that shortly. Have we got? Oh yes, Peter Wood. Tell you what, Peter Wood, you would make a brilliant journalist because your questions are absolutely spot on. How would you rate this facts team over the last decade in terms of potential? I know it's early days. I feel like there's something brewing. Lots of local lads is a bonus too. I've been banging this drum all year that forget the result. And again, it's Grix is building something, and that was the not exactly excuse, but the point I would make that not to get rid of Simon Grix too early because he's not had a fair crack of the whip. He's having it now, and the proof's in the pudding. The question that I will say, which I got shot down.
Oh, you're doing a question.
A question with a question. Two journalists here. Well, one wannabe journalist and possibly one there in yourself, Peter. You might be a journalist. We don't know. Anyway, question I say: anyone who's watching now who wanted Simon Grix out 2 months ago, have you changed your opinion now? And if so, why? Is it just simply because we're winning? Are we playing more of the team? What would you say now? Because I got shot down in flames now because I'm not interested and on a wind up. But hey ho.
Answer the man's question anyway then.
Yeah, how do you rate this facts team? Not there yet. I think it's got potential. 2017 is my best team. Of the last decade. Oh, well, we did this, didn't we? Last decade. Last decade, there's so many different teams. 2017, in terms of actual what it made to be like a fan, that is head and shoulders above. But
let's keep it just on the field, though.
Yeah, on the field, again, I'd go 2017. Yeah. I know we won Northern Rail Cup in 2012, but I think 2017 beats that because we've got Morel and other players as well. 2011, that team should have won more, but we were 5 seconds away from winning Northern Rail Cup. We had something daft, and then we kind of we kind of imploded towards the end of the season. But yeah, I think 2017 is the best one. But this one, if Grix, if we can finish the season very, very well, and Grixie can keep hold of a lot of the players and add to it, I think you've got something brewing as well. And the local thing is a big point. When we can actually have unrestricted fans in there, that's what the club should be proper playing on. The fact that it's kind of legal gentlemen, it's a local team for local people and local fans, and we should be banging that drum.
Totally agree. In terms of how I rate this 2021 Halifax Panthers side to Halifax RFC
Is this the best ever Halifax Panthers side, Rick?
This is the best ever Halifax Panthers side. I compared them to the 2015 Facts, where we had a lot of lads that we didn't really know what they could do. That side probably chucked the ball around. It was a bit of a false dawn for what was to come, actually, under Richard Marshall, because they were throwing the ball around. We played some good stuff, and then obviously after that we went back to a very structured, not being able to attack, but winning games by just defending his asses off. So, but yeah, I see a lot of that first year of Richard Marshall where we're just taking sides a bit under. We're going a bit under the radar, and then. How many games have we won now? Is it four out of five? I think it is.
Yeah.
if we can just keep going and ticking away, we've got some favourable fixtures coming up. I don't think we play a real top 4 contender, depending on how you see Widnes, for a couple of weeks. We've got a chance to win maybe 7 or 8 in a row here, and build on something that's similar to that. So how I rate them, I agree with you, Mike. I think that they've got the potential to be possibly the best side that we've seen in the last decade. We just need to keep building on what we're doing week on week. And we do seem to be doing that. You know what the scary thing is? We haven't played for a full 80 minutes yet.
And we blow a lot of chances as well.
I mean, yeah, look at Swinton. How many times we broke them up the middle? We're seeing settled side, winning side to confident side, and a confident side is a recipe for success.
Of course it is. And Thax loves being an underdog. And like when we beat York, that was a big statement because everyone fancies York. Obviously, you got Bradford and Fev, but Fev at York seemed to be the best of the rest, really. And we made very light work of them. So yeah, what do you guys think? What's your team of the decade in that respect there? And also answer my question. I'd love to find out if you were anti Simon Griggs 6 weeks ago, let's say, what's made you change your mind, if at all, and if not, what more does he have to do? Because I've seen people like say, "Oh, he's still got a long way to go." Of course he has. He's a brand new coach. He's a new coach.
First ever head coach gig.
Yeah, exactly, and he's doing a bloody good job in my opinion. And you can tell from the interviews that he does that he's got passion for it, and he's not satisfied with mediocrity. And maybe going back to the decision to drop Salty, maybe he thought that was a mediocre performance in terms of what Salty can give, really. And we've seen it in different players. I don't think particularly Kevin Leroy had a bad game at all before he was dropped. And again, that was for rugby reasons, like I said on the R-League stream. Look what he's been like since he's come back. So it could be a blessing in disguise. And as like I've said countless times before, it's not the worst thing in the world to be dropped for one game, to give him a watching brief, to come back and like say, right, that's what I want you to do, go and do it. So it wouldn't surprise me if Salty comes full guns blazing this Sunday, but then also the fact that we are growing as a team as well, so it's great. And
as well, like there's nothing worse as a player, is there, than having to sit on the sideline and watch your mates going out there and playing the game you love, and knowing there's nothing you can do to influence the game other than maybe carrying the water and keeping them calm or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I've got another question for everyone, if you will indulge me. Let's have a sweepstake. We talked about Worthington. He probably hasn't got over the line yet.
Oh God!
Who will he score his first Halifax try against? Get your answers on a postcard.
Batley. He'll score this Sunday. He has to come.
Put your neck on the line and say he'll score against Batley.
I think he'll score on Sunday. I think
he gets 5 in the grand final.
Love it. I would love it if that happens again and again. I think it's one of those where as soon as he scores, he won't stop scoring. He just needs that little spark and he'll go. James Marsden reckons he'll score against Bradford. Well, hopefully the whole team scores against Bradford. Also, James Marsden said, why don't we see the Panther at games? Don't know. Maybe again it might be one thing too because we're not properly. Maybe? Yeah, we're not properly back in grounds yet. I'm not seeing any mascots at games yet. Really,
seen any mascots?
There weren't a lion on Sunday. There weren't.
Yeah, that's a really good point actually. Which I don't understand how it'd be. I mean, one, you've got to find someone to go in it.
If anything, it should be really safe to wear masks.
That's what I mean, and
They'll buy a mascot. You wear a mask.
I don't get that one.
They're
Jim.
safe.
You'd have to ask the club, mate. I really couldn't tell you.
Maybe that's where I went wrong. I should have worn a Panther mask before I got ill. But that's another story.
Where you went wrong is you got a job in Bradford. That's your problem.
No comment. James thinks he'll score 2 or 3 against Bradford to win the game and become a legend. Also what Steve Tyers
if
did.
If there's any time to do it, that's
definitely. And being a Queensbury lad, I'm sure he's had loads of stick and that sort of thing. But yeah, I would say I don't like saying that stuff about Greg Worthington because we know what a great player he is. He's an absolute class act. But if you don't perform, and you don't deserve to be in the team. You don't just. Like we've seen it from representative level before, and also from X-Factor teams, that reputation just shouldn't get you in the team. Greg Worthington's reputation is brilliant, but it's dwindling because he's not performing, he's not scoring. We brought him in to be a try-scoring centre, and he's not scored yet. So
I don't think he'll be too fussed though, as long as the team keeps winning. That's the main thing, isn't it? So yeah, he's frustrated, but. You mentioned like he was a bit annoyed by the bounce of the ball against York at the Shea for the Rawstorm try. I've heard people actually say that he could have gone for that, but decided to leave it because he knows that Rawstorn will get there more easily, and there's less chance of a York defender getting over and stopping him. So
or
that's taking one for the team if I've ever seen.
Or you could say that he's just shot of confidence, and a prime Greg Worthington would have just done it regardless. Really, so. We don't know. Again, we don't know what happens in people's lives, training grounds, all that sort of stuff.
I'm going to say, with him being replacement for Tyree, he'll score a hat-trick against Widnes. That's my bet.
That would be poetic justice, wouldn't it? Yeah, to the ex-fax number 3 to the current fax number 3.
That's it, yeah. Speaking of Tyree, did everyone see he won cash fax lottery today?
You just can't stop taking money from Halifax, can he? But yeah, I can't wait for him to well, unfortunately, I won't be there when he comes back. I'm at my friend's wedding. Jamie, you're probably watching. Can't wait! Congratulations. He's one of my
bend him.
Yeah, he's one of my few friends from that who actually watched this stream. So hello. But yeah,
Nathan says fix.
Yeah, fix. Come back to facts. Well, it's one of those things. We'll let you win the raffle kind of thing. We'll let you win cash facts one week. Here we go.
Well, he's definitely getting the beers in because he's out in facts after that Widnes game. I've been told, so it'll be his round.
Exactly. Yeah. Peter Wood has come back. He's heard an interview with Simon Gregson. He made some valid points regarding the fact that the team can now mingle outside of training. Now the COVID situation is relaxed, which helps, especially in being a new team. Definitely. What I know from my own work, the fact that we've not been able to mix and socialise at a team has been rubbish, and now we're actually kind of back in the same place. It's brilliant. When you're just literally turning up and just training and playing, not being able to, well, obviously Tangata and Fairbank have got the farm, they're down on the farm, aren't they? But the rest of them, they've not been able to do anything. Because I remember, which game was it? It was after the Oldham game. And again, we kind of said at the time that could be a watermark season. A lot of the social media, they went out and got pissed, basically. They went out for a few beers all together. Exactly. Yeah, who bank order, wasn't it? Yeah. And you've got to let people do that, because that's where they will have chewed the fat and go, bloody hell, mate, you play rubbish, all that sort of stuff.
Not necessarily just that, but going, get to know about your kids. Oh, yeah, I've got a family and this. And you get to know them as people, and you're more inclined to go, when you're on that field and you have to scramble across to make those tackles, you're thinking, I don't want to let that guy or his friends with his wife, his kids and my kids are friends and all that sort of stuff. The camaraderie is a massive thing in what is effectively a combat sport, or whatever they call it these days.
Of course it is.
Contact sport.
Yeah, well, it's combat sport. It's the warriors on the pitch, aren't they?
Absolutely.
And going back to why I think the 2017 team was the best team of the decade, like we mentioned countless times, it was the team spirit. Were we the fourth, or did we finish third that year?
Yeah, I think we finished third.
Were we?
Oh no, sorry, that fourth and third year after. Sorry, go on.
Were we on paper the fourth best team in the league that season? Probably not.
Not in terms of spend.
Yeah, well, exactly. Not in terms of spend.
Lose out, didn't we?
Not in terms of spend, not in terms of calibre of players or whatever. But what took us above was the fact that we had a band of brothers, and all that's a term you coined perfectly. We had a band of brothers who would go to war, and you mentioned because of the camaraderie that we had, because they had the chance to go out on the piss and get and drink and whatever. They had that time to get to know each other and that sort of thing. That they would put the bodies on the line to protect the mate, and that's exactly what we're going through at the moment. So yeah, definitely.
Can I suggest that Swabs has said he'd say 2010 team was mint, but for some reason I think his math skills are off because it's a decade ago. It's 2021, 2011, 2021.
If we could all go back to 2020, I think we'd all be very, very happy in that respect there. But yes, team full of piss cans. Well, in the old adage that the plummet line was one of the best reasons, was the main reason why the team in '87 won the cup. So yeah, exactly. So it's a team of Halifax, and again, 1998. The Coliseum, the best thing, and then I think jumping jacks are an area for Halifax players in 2010. But yeah, it goes hand in hand in that sort. It's completely different to football, where they're incredibly professional from day one and that sort of thing. And I've seen it in dare I mention the other code, but in Lions tours and that. But again, you think of band of brothers, like the Lions tour. You build a team from practically nothing in a few weeks, and again, you do that by spending time together, going out on the piss, chewing the fat, all that sort of stuff. And
I don't think you can compare those two though, because you're looking at a lot of part-time lads that
Well, exactly,
if they
yeah.
win, they get more money for winning. So you're thinking, oh God, I'm a bit short this month. If I put a bit of extra effort in, my mate can make some extra money and he'll have a better life because of it. So
yeah. It's one of those, but definitely that what you said, Peter, is a brilliant point.
100%.
Definitely, and I think we're seeing that. I think the proof's in the pudding these last few weeks for sure.
And as well, like how good has our goal line defence been without any of that team bonding? You know, can you imagine what it's going to be like now that they have bonded and got together and everything like that. So.
Definitely. Stuart Tattersley, thanks for joining us again. Do you think our away fan turnout has a big influence for the result? It has some sort of thing. Yeah, I know that the players absolutely loved it. It's just bringing that to the home games now, which for many reasons is problematic. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's not unique. I remember infamously for a long time, Man United. Were criticised for having a rubbish atmosphere at Old Trafford, but away games, I think they were voted the best away fans because the atmosphere that they brought. Something about an away day, especially because we've been locked up home for 18 months or so, we've not had an away day. It just brings something out, and that's loved. I came straight from a stag do to go to Swinton, and it was brilliant. Absolutely loved it there, and not just because it was the annual Enya game, it battled exactly the same. So yeah.
I don't get this one. So it says, Ian Waterhouse says, just because the team can meet up, they still have to be careful or we will be like Hull KR. What? The form team in Super League at the minute that are beating everyone and making the playoffs? That'll do me, mate.
I think they've got a few done for COVID and that. Well, I think,
but who won't? Look at Huddersfield.
I think he might mean Huddersfield because didn't they announce a 13-man squad and then quickly deleted it? That sort of thing. Because
I'm assuming so, because I'm going to say I don't know anything about OKR. They've been fantastic to watch.
They have, yeah.
Just clarify that, Ian. Did you mean Huddersfield?
Yeah, but yeah, it could be Fev as well, but we don't know.
At the end of the day, just going out and mingling is not going to be enough of a reason to say, oh, they're all going to catch COVID. You know, they've got kids that are in school, their wives work, and there's hundreds of places you can catch it and all that sort of stuff.
We've been practically prisoners for 12 months. Cut people some slack. We need human interaction, and especially, and it's work at the end of the day. It's a job for them. They need to. I socialise with my workmates. He's got to be done. You know, granted, it's completely different to rugby players and that, but we are human beings, and we need that interaction there. Let's go on a little bit of a tangent for a little bit because it's something that I want to do. It's something away from Halifax. It's the England combined Nations game on Friday. Mentioned because we talk about facts, lads. Jake Connor. Okay, next kid. There we go. Right, sorry. Yeah.
I take it all back here.
Sean has come back and said that Hull next 2 games off during COVID in the camp. Well, is that from me? No, we don't know. It could be anything. It's so weird. It's like the football the other night with the one Scotland player getting it and 2 England players, but no other Scottish players had to isolate. It just seems very
everything's
strange.
balmy. I know we don't want to talk too much about it, but there's 140,000 at Silverstone, and you can't get a can of Fosters in 800 at Shea. You know, it's just
exactly. And there's going to be 60,000 at football
live and let
semi-finals
live.
and
Enough's
stuff.
enough now.
Yeah, true. But yeah, going back to the rugby, Jake Connor, one of our own,
used to play out here with me.
What, in internet land?
In internet land, yeah.
in the secret bunker.
Taught him everything he knows about being a sneaky bastard.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm intrigued by this because when the concept was first announced, I just thought it's just a pointless game. But now that I didn't realise that the combined nation could include England players that weren't picked by Sean Wayne, and that makes it brilliantly because you've got Jake Connor, who's going against Sam Tompkins, who's been named as England captain, vying for the fullback slot. You've got Jackson Hastings, who has just been completely ignored by Sean Wayne, who's put his hand up and said, look, I am English, I don't want to play for Australia, this is my heritage. And then mix it in with a load of other stuff. I think it's going to be really intriguing, and I think the All-Stars are going to win.
Yeah, you said that, didn't you? I mean, you've actually compared it before to, I know you keep bringing up the dreaded 15-man code of the game, but I think you said something about the All Blacks having a probables versus possibles game.
Yep.
And to be fair, I think we'd get more out of that than we probably would playing the Exiles or Ireland or Wales or whoever it is. So I do get it to a degree, but I'm a bit like, what happens if they come head to head and eye tackle on Sam Tompkins, wipes him out. He might leave his elbow in a bit longer because he's like, you're not playing at World Cup if it means I can't.
Well, what I'll counter that is Origin. State of Origin's had that for 40 years now, and you've had players who state against state, mate against mate, practically an Australian trial selection, and you'll have a Queensland fullback going to Queensland or a Queensland hooker or prop or whatever, going, right, you're probably going to keep me out of a test squad here, bosh, or whatever.
It. I mean, speaking of the World Cup, I don't know if you've read it in the Aussie news, but they might not even come. The NRL's trying to get it, so they're saying, it's going to disrupt our pre-season.
Shock.
So, I mean,
Shock.
It might not even matter in the long scheme of things, but that's
if
a
that
story for another show. Let's keep it on facts.
If that's the case, then let them stay there. We'll have a big party. We'll have a brilliant time without them, and then they can look stupid if that's the case. Sick and tired of the NRL dictating the rest of the world. Right, let's get back to COVID because that's what the comments are going to be like. Nathan Roberts said that COVID thing means nothing. That's close contract with in training.
We've done about the England-Scotland football thing, I'm thinking.
All right, okay. I don't know anymore. It's just very, very strange.
Well, we've done 51 minutes, so we're going to, in the next sort of 10, 15, start wrapping up. So if you've got any more questions you want answering, any more points you want to get across, last chance for romance, now's your time to get in. But I want to talk about Batley away.
Yep.
Because as we know, we either go there and have a really good game or we get smoked. Now, the one thing that we've seen them already this year, team full of ex-Fax lads.
Yeah.
How do you think we're going to perform?
I think we'll win. I think we owe Batley one after the way that they practically embarrassed us by knocking us out of the cup. I think we owe Batley one.
It's a favour if you ask me.
Could be. Yeah, I said right at the very time, it could be a blessing in disguise. But yeah, I think we owe them one. We're in the groove. And yeah, I just think it's our time now, and hopefully Simon Griggs is ramming home the importance of keeping this momentum on, because as you say, we beat Batley. Widnes haven't really impressed me when I've seen them. We beat them at home, and then who's after Widnes? Whitehaven again.
Sheffield.
Yeah, it's some definitely winnable games, and we've got momentum now. And we've mentioned teams in the past, the 2015 side, 2017 side, 2018 mentioned, all of which came to prominence because we went on mid-season runs. After May, well, I had some bash this year, but May time is like make or break for Halifax teams. We're going really, really good runs in the summer, and what better place to do it on a hopefully Mount Pleasant day.
I mean, if you look at Batley as well, they've been a bit of a form team this year, but they're getting to the point now where they're going to start playing some teams around them. They only just sort of scraped past York. I think they had like a last couple of minute try where they just nicked them by 2 points, and obviously we made York look like school kids at points. So
yeah, we do.
It's hard to say, and we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. And I'm sure Simon's drilling it into them that they need to really turn up ready to play with a game plan and follow it. So I can't wait till tomorrow to see what squad he announces, because that's going to give us a massive indication into how we're going to play.
Yeah.
But for me, get the fast, get the speed pits, get the youth, don't change your winning team unless you absolutely have to because of injuries / COVID / whatever else. And let's roll, and let's hit them where it hurts. That stand behind the top will be full of blue and white, and obviously Jamie, friend of the show's bringing all his flags and balloons and whatever, and Brett with his drum, and the Barmy Army will be there, and all you guys will be there, I'm sure. And let's just hit the ground running from the second. Let's do what we're doing to these teams. Weather the early storm, get us noses in front, and then just keep pounding away and just pump them into submission. And if we do that, a couple of their players aside, I know they've lost Jack Logan. He's, for some reason, been loaned to Hull. I don't know if you've seen that. It's the craziest transfer story I've seen. A championship side loaning players to Super League teams. But let's just, like I say, hit the ground running, and let's give them a pasting, because we own one. We really own one.
Definitely, yeah. And we've seen high scores at Batley previously, so it's not beyond the realms of possibility or anything like that. But yeah, it's just we're on a good thing at the moment. We're on a good roll. We're in the groove, and yeah, I think the feel good factors there. And like we mentioned, yes, it was only Swinton and not yet to win a game, but some of the tries that were scored on Sunday were brilliant. And then again, the camaraderie and the play, it was enjoyment, and they came over to fans at the end. They were loving it. We're getting a good side together, and yeah, I just think we all battling one, and I'm quietly confident we'll go and do the business there. Vicky Webster, hello Vicky. Looking forward to seeing you all at my first game of the season and the Facts win. Go on, lass. Yes, hopefully, yeah, Facts win. Let's go and do it. Let's do it. So we're definitely open for cup game, and yeah, you've stolen my thunder there, Rick. That was right, Chilean speech you said there.
You know, mate, get into him, rip him up. But yeah, like I say, guys, we're going to start wrapping it up shortly. So anything anyone wants to discuss at the last minute, let us know now, or we'll start to wrap this thing up, Mr. Haig. Or should I say, Mr. Jack Nicholson?
Yeah,
with them sunglasses,
Fat Robertson. Yeah, well, I will say I was going to bring this up, but I'm a humble man. I know when I'm beaten, but I know that you're all wrong. But we put our team out, and you all voted for Rick practically. So yeah, this is the last podcast that we're going to do together because obviously you like him a lot more than me. But no, seriously, hey, tell you what though, the what you had on your team, the Borough hooker and Brandon Moore loose forward, I love that dynamic, and it was shown on Sunday how good it is.
Yeah.
And as I say, I'm not saying your team's a bad team. It's just it's opinion. We all have opinions, like we all have a certain other part of the anatomy which rhymes in bold.
Blast.
But
ball.
yeah, and it's very, very exciting. It's like we said loads of times so far this stream. We've got an embarrassment of riches. We've got lots of options there. I'm looking very stupid now because I didn't put Grix or Kavanagh in. And also on the live show, we didn't mention Elliot Morris or Dan Murray as well. So we had to think about that. But
we were sat here, weren't we, saying, have we got any forwards? We need some forwards. And then we went, but Morris. And
if it looked at a squad
all we're
list,
really saying is we're not actually qualified to be running a show like this, so don't take anything we say seriously.
And nowhere near the coaching job at Halifax. So yeah, for sure. Nick Barber's finally joined us. He's just surfaced from the bath. Battle's going to be tough, but if we go with the right attitude and play the percentages, we can get a good win. The X-Fast lads will want to get one over us, but I'm confident in our ability as a unit, as we have a great pack. Let's fight fire with fire and let Woody do the business down the slope. Yeah, for sure.
Amen.
Definitely. Again, Woody, every time he got the ball, and I know Batley's a completely different pitch to Swinton, but he just looked so dangerous, and if he can... And especially Gadwin Springer going down that slope. Our forwards going down that slope should be a monstrous thing going through. And again, get Borough or Brandon Moore behind Springer, and we should be scoring tries for fun, or at least creating them. I agree, Nick. I think we'll win. I just someone had the, like, I can't remember who said it, but I think something special is brewing, and I think it's what I've been saying all year. I think Simon Grix is doing extremely well in getting the squad together, and B, getting them playing. And I think they're integrating very, very well there.
Absolutely. I think for me, the main thing, and one thing when we lose at Batley that we struggle with, main word I've written here, discipline. Our discipline, not piggybacking them up that hill, needs to be 100% spot on. As we've seen in recent weeks, I think we've been pretty squeaky clean. We've given a handful of penalties away.
Yeah, so. and our defensive discipline's been absolutely amazing. And also, we're not necessarily conceding the penalties we're conceding earlier in the season. Again, that comes with work on the training pitch and work and good coaching. So again, the silence is deafening from people who I know for a fact weren't Grix fans at the start of the season, who might have changed their tune here. Tony Riley has got a really, really good point. You're right, Tony. Wonder what will happen with our away game in Toulouse. Bradford got theirs cancelled, which counts better than going there and losing under the percentage system. Again, it's one of those... Do we do a 2017, go over there and win and get points on the board, or is it better for us to kind of concede a walkover defeat and keep players fresh, an extra game we don't have to play?
Well, I think, if they cancel, because we're a part-time team, we would get the points not to lose.
Ah, right, okay.
That's the way I think it was.
Right.
Although they haven't lost a game yet, have they? So
no, but they've had. I think London stopped the game there, and Bradford got theirs cancelled. What did Bradford get? Did Bradford get the points, or because they're what I call fluid in terms of their part-time, full-time jobby thing. I don't know. We don't know. Personally, I'd love us to play Toulouse because you got to play the best to beat the best and all that sort of stuff. Another people think it's not worth it really, but don't know.
Yeah, I'm not too sure with the amount of disruption that you get from having to go over there, and if you came back, you have to quarantine and all that sort of stuff. It's not worth the time. They should have put them in Super League, shouldn't they? That was plainly obvious to everyone, and now it's coming back to bite them on the arse.
It is, yeah, because unfortunately Leon aren't doing too good.
Hey, why? No, unfortunately about it. If they can take our record away of going down without winning the game,
and that would be brilliant.
That's
with
exactly
with all my Lee friends, if they don't win a game.
Yeah, the answer to Pete's question, the best fax team in the last decade or last couple of decades would be Lee 2021 for taking our unwanted record away.
Yeah, they got to either win one game or they get salary points or whatever. Tony's confirmed no, Bradford didn't get the points. So what happened with the points? Did Toulouse get them? It's such a weird system, really.
There's no result, I'm assuming.
We don't know anymore.
We'll deal with that when we get to it, won't we?
Yeah, and lastly, Nick Bowers, Grix rested Tangata Springer for long minutes in the second half at Swinton. Also rested Fairbank, so we are fresh. Yeah, we are fresh in there. And again, I'll go back to the Saltonstall thing. I think he'll pick Saltonstall, and I think he'll prove why he should be there. And again, like Grix, might say, look, you're our number 5. Go and prove you're number 5 instead of whatever Conor McGrath's squad number is.
Well, it's good to hear that we're fresh and raring to go. It's a massive
Hopefully.
game, so everyone watching, and tell your friends, get over there to Batley, get your tickets bought, get your blue and white out. Let's go and give them the business, because like I say, it's never a nice place to go with the pitch and the fans that are as parochial as we are.
Let's make it a home game.
Let's make it a home game. Let's give it them.
Definitely. Let's get into it. Let's get stuck in. We'll get stuck into it on a live stream next week after it. Maybe Wednesday, maybe Thursday, we don't know. We are fluid. We are fluid in these sort of things. We'll have to time it very well in terms of Euro games. One thing for sure, we're definitely not going to do it on Tuesday. Definitely not live stream on Tuesday, because no one will want to watch it, no one will watch it, and we will be watching the football as well. So, yeah, we'll see you sometime next week. Rick, as always, thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
For all that you do. And from myself, Mike Egg, as always. And also, before we go, thanks to Clips Energy. And delivery. From all of us, take care, love you, Bleak, and up the Fax Panthers.